what are some of the things that you do in your life, in your everyday practice, tools, behaviors, something to keep yourself grounded, to keep yourself anchored, and to keep yourself centered?
In our 3 avatars, toughness ka definition has also changed. Because up until good 5 years ago, it was always about ki bhai, will we be around?
Yeah.
That's a different kind of pressure.
I understand that.
Ki investors ke paise, and we feel a lot about that. We don't think ki, we think सारा पैसा हमारा ही है actually.
It's a very good, amazing. I love that middle class mentality.
बिल्कुल यार ये मैंने लिए हुए हैं and I have to make sure I return it. Loan ही है वो in the end of the day. That is a big pressure. And then pressure of payroll. Believe me, those are the only 2 pressures we lived with till like whatever 4-5 years ago. कि यार ये दोनों करने हैं बस बाकी देख लेंगे. बाकी ठीक है vision वो सब देख लेंगे. But these 2 यहाँ पे 100 people की jobs हैं and we have to make sure ये होना है. So I think at least having that's a good motivation.
Yeah.
है ना? तो then you short term ही सही, you'll do things to make sure यार ये affect नहीं होना चाहिए, come what may. Okay, so at least that drives you outside of you. वो आपकी motivation नहीं है, वो कुछ और है, कहीं और से आ रहा है वो. It's more of a principalistic thing. And then after obviously once you cross that hurdle to say okay self-sufficient है, capital है, then I think the pressure is different. The pressure then is to say that I had thought I would be here and I would be making X impact. Why am I making 0.8 X impact? And how do I cross this bridge? External pressures हैं, ecosystem में changes हैं, recession है, all kinds of things then come into the mix. Where I think for me personally, and again every entrepreneur will have a different view. One, having a team of co-founders that you can trust, according to me, is the single reason why we are here.
Okay.
Because in the early days, I remember Gautam and I started back in the day, and every week we would argue whether we should do it or not. Because it's such, right? You're in we were mid-stage of our careers or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And the week I would argue, he would say, "Nahi, karte hain," and that's very important.
Yeah.
If I was doing it alone, I would have wrapped up in 2 months. Not because I didn't believe, it was just hard.
Yeah.
In the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then as you get as we got, as Vishesh Akshay came along, I think the single most reason on this question is that. So a lot of people ask me, should I get a co-founder? I was like, I couldn't do it without one. तो आप देख लो, but मेरे हिसाब से it's impossible for me.
When you feel tough, थोड़ा broken, so there is someone to say कि चलो, चलते रहो.
And ultimate trust भी चाहिए.
Yeah.
That's the only way, you can.
And it's not even just about when you're broken, right? I think the fact today, and I 100% believe this, is that, being able to be honest with each other, right? Because it's not always everyone is 100% honest with you, but having co-founders that you can be 100% honest with, be vulnerable with, share your anxiety with, share your optimism with, I think it's very, very important because you're never going to be judged, right? It's almost like, literally it's like having, it's your better half.
Naked in front of the
it's your better half, right? It's like your life partner, right?
No, better half also you have to maintain.
Right? But it is, that level of trust has to be there that no matter what I say, right? Tomorrow, we've dealt with whatever we had and tomorrow is a brand new day.
Yeah.
And I'll take your question in a very practical way, right? So I joined the company a little later in its stage. We were already at a Series B valuation. I met Sahil through a common friend. We hit it off, came into an engine that was already being built. We were not setting up the workshop per se, right? And for me, the single biggest way that I personally feel to be able to handle pressure is taking those 2-3 days a month it's not just about taking a break. It's about having a broader perspective, like taking a step back from the day to day. Because one thing I think we've realized is Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday doesn't matter. Because every weekend that we say, okay, this weekend, we're going to take the days off. Eventually on Friday, something has come up and the calendars are full, right? So saying that, it never happens in a startup, right?
Yeah.
And whilst we don't want to do it for the people who work with us, we ourselves, we have to do it.
Yeah.
But then taking that time off to say, okay, reflect back upon what you've done. It's not just about taking a pause from the day-to-day, the chaos. It is also about thinking through whether you've actually achieved. There have been months where I've looked back and I was like, I didn't really do much this month. Yeah. Whilst I was in the month, I thought it was amazing. I was doing a lot. When I looked back, I said, started on the 1st, ended on the 31st. Akshay, you haven't done much. So figure out why you haven't done much, because you've been working the hours. And then you take that step back and then you realize, and then other times we talk to each other saying that, I'm having this challenge. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And it's always that time also get another perspective.
Yeah.
So I think taking a step back, it's very easy for entrepreneurs to say we have no time. Everyone has time.